to wrap them chocolate legs around me. So when I come home tonight, you'll make everything alright. When you go wrap them chocolate legs around me, the memory of my day.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Dawson.
And I'm Denise.
And welcome back to another edition of the Dawson and Denise Show, where we're talking about an interesting subject to me. We're talking about porn addiction.
Question,
go for it.
so we can open this thing up.
Yep, okay.
Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you think the addiction of porn comes first, or the, how can I say it, the nastiness in your mind with sex, the fetish you have with sex? Which comes first?
I don't know which comes first, but speaking of coming, I'm
rubbing off on them, but
whatever. Anyway, I don't know which comes first, but porn addiction is something that's serious. I think the addiction to comes first because a lot of people are addicted to porn because it's underlying issues that are not being dealt with.
Okay.
And porn, it's a selfless thing. I mean, you're doing it yourself. You're not hurting anybody. So people tend.
But we'll get on that.
We'll get on that. So people tend to do things that it's just between themselves and it's something that releases pressure, and masturbating to porn or looking at porn excessively makes people feel good.
So some may say the addiction comes when you bring other people into it, or when your money starts getting involved, when you're losing, like gambling, like any other addiction. When you have to sneak, when you have to step into finances that your partner, if you have one at the time, doesn't know about, that's when it becomes real. That's when it becomes real.
And also when it's starting to affect your daily life, like you said, with your partner, if your partner doesn't know. If you start watching porn at your job, if your finances go down because you have this addiction, you have to head to...
You put your credit card online and let them deduct.
Exactly. You got to go to all the events. You're on the internet trying to find different locations where people go and do things. A lot of people have these addictions, and it goes unnoticed because these people who have these addictions are not junkies on the street. Many of the times, none of them not.
They're junkies on the net.
Junkies on the net. People you would see, police officers, people in your local civic group, teachers, lawyers, doctors.
Now that's when it's scary, because if you're a teacher and you're teaching kids, I'm not saying you're watching teenagers or you're watching child pornography, but just the fact that you're watching porn doesn't sit well with a lot of parents, or wouldn't sit well with a lot of parents.
Of course. But I mean, that's why it's called adult entertainment. So I know adults are going to do what they want to do.
Right, but you still have to look at what you're doing as an adult when you're in a certain field.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's certain things you can't do.
Yeah, certain things you shouldn't do. But if a teacher is watching porn or going to a strip club or doing something that's adult oriented
and unethical,
but if they're not bringing that into school,
by means of the handbook,
it becomes unethical if you see the teacher at the strip club and you're like,
for certain fields or whatever areas in your career, you sign handbooks.
Yeah.
Code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
And you need to watch your conduct, because that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
That's if they bring it into school. Or if they're watching internet at school, because if they're doing it at their house, hey, you can do whatever you want to do at your house. Well, it's blocked at the school. You can't watch it. That's an addiction. And let's talk about some signs of people who have this internet addiction problem with porn, of being obsessive.
If your husband comes in the house and you say, "Hey, honey," and he pushes you out the way and says, "B, get out the way," and he's running to the computer, that's a sign.
Obsessive. Being compulsive, they have to do it constantly. And also the tolerance level is low, according to, I think this was a doctor or psychologist, Jeff Gorder, and also destructive behavior. There are some people, they just need this. And I think you were saying, like, you were riding down the road and you saw somebody.
I'm not 100% sure. I got to call the Florida Highway Patrol.
We're in Miami, so that wouldn't be.
See if they can pull the tape. But to me, I was in the HOV lane.
Wow.
Only because I didn't see the V. But no, I'm just kidding.
This girl right here. Wow, okay.
I'm just kidding, that was a joke.
Yeah.
But his hand was moving pretty fast, and I'm like, are you serious?
Well, then there are people also who have issues with being an exhibitionist. They want to expose themselves and do things to people. Or do things to get people's attention.
That goes back to my first question. So, is that first when you want to do all these nasty things and then you get addicted to having
for some
the
people,
need for that?
Some people, if you like, in sociology, we would talk about erotic phobia. People have phobia of anything having to do with sex. And according to some of the teachers I had, some of those individuals would be the ones who would get pregnant at early ages. They would be the ones who would get STDs because they were talked down about their bodies or made to think that sex was a bad thing. Sex is not a bad thing. It's what you do with your sex life and what you do with sex.
It's so
hand in hand, because it's the addiction part does, but then there's another thing, because some people get to the point where they say, I don't want to watch it, I want to do it. And then if you have a sex addiction, you want to do it with whoever.
Does that tie into rape? Depending on if you're watching hardcore porn or whatever, you begin to think, okay, since she's acting like this on the video, I want the girl I'm with to act like this. So even if she's telling me no, that means yes.
Exactly. And that's why pornography is so misleading, because people forget that these people are actors. Of course, they're doing all this different kind of stuff, but I think it was Alexander Dubois, and he is a porn star. He was on the Dr. Rachel show, who's a doctor of sexology, who's one of my good friends. That's why I know this. And he talked about, I have to give people like, how do you know? Alexander Dubois talked about how people do anything in the business. The thing is to stay on top of your game, to make people want to watch your product. If it means that you have to ejaculate from here all across the room, then that's what you got to do if you want your product to get off the shelf.
And there's proper training for that.
Exactly. So these guys, some guys are pumping steroids in their penis in order for it to keep hard while they're on set. And some of the girls are doing all weird kinds of things in order to be on top in the porn industry.
Is that a trick camera? So
no, it's not a trick camera, because when HIV/AIDS broke out in the adult film industry with a porn star in 2004, the reason the girl got HIV/AIDS was because the two guys tried to perform a double anal penetration.
A double anal.
Double anal.
So I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Yeah. So two guys wanted to go in the girl at the same time, and she went for it, and she caught HIV because one of the guys was infected in her butt.
Both of them was gonna fit.
Yeah, obviously they did it. And see, that's the thing. People in the industry, these people, you know, there's the AIM Foundation, the Adult Industry Medical Foundation that helps sex workers. So
did both of which one had HIV and did the other one contract?
It was, I think his name was Darwin James. He was a porn star who had HIV. And, you know, he's doing really wonderful things out, you know, now. And then I think it was, oh my God, it was some girl in Brazil who caught it. But there was a quarantine on the industry, the porn industry, for the summer of 2004.
And it is a safe industry. We're not talking down
about it. No, it's not,
it.
Because Dr. Sharon Mitchell is doing wonderful things with the AIM Foundation, the Adult Industry Medical Foundation, where she's getting sex workers to come in to talk about different things, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, to help them. So this is not to bash the industry.
She's trying to take two?
Get out of here. But I mean, but that's what people do. And you must look, there are wonderful people in the porn industry who are protecting themselves and doing things in order to keep themselves from getting disease.
So both of them should have put on a condom before they should have.
But see, here's the thing. When people are addicted to porn and they see stuff like this, they're going to want to go to the nearest prostitute, to the nearest girl they can get drunk in the club, and her club, in the club, and see if they can perform these acts, because it's compulsive, and some people are not thinking, oh, if this guy could do that, then I could do it. If this girl jumps like this and does this, I want you to do that. If she
if you don't, I'm going to bust you in your head, because that's what he did.
And then the snuff films, because you have snuff films in porn where the girls are tied up, they're beaten, they're, you know, it's beyond being like dominatrix or something like that. And, you know, they're choking the girls and doing stuff like that. There are people who have been killed in those snuff films. And some people try to do this stuff because people's fetishes and what they like.
They still sell it.
They still sell it because but snuff films are more underground, so you can't get to them. You got the internet.
Some people get a high because they're addicted from seeing someone beat up, murdered, whatever the case may be. Some have sex and kill them. Yeah,
it's sad though. It's real sad, but hey, that's how it is. All we're saying is if you're doing anything you don't like that, you have a porn addiction, you know, there's therapy. If your couple if it's a couple and one person has addiction, talk to the local doctor of sexology in your town. And you can look on ASET. ASET is a website, and they list all different types of sex therapists and people within your town who are doctors, trained professional sex therapists who will help you as a couple or even as a person. Some people need to talk to people, because if you can't go a day or
and remember, you have to crawl before you walk. Don't take two if you never try.
You know what, man? Look at here, man. Oh,
if you never tried one.
Why are you doing to people like that? Hey, but
just my
you know what? Just protect yourself.
And
you know,
others.
don't do anything to harm yourself or others. Be educated about whatever you're going to do, and then you know
Ask
what?
questions.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid.
And if you are addicted and you want to seek help,
like I said,
Google it.
Google it. There are lots of sex therapists, doctors of sexology, who will help you guys out a lot. Okay. So take care, be safe, and till next time, take care.
Bye.
Peace.
So when I come home tonight, you'll make everything